Now, the move to postpone the reopening of schools, I guess, was inevitable. There has been increasing pressure from numerous stakeholders, including unions. So the question this Friday afternoon, what impact, if any, is this going to have on the academic year and longer-term scholastic development? With me now on Friday lunchtime, Professor Vimolan Mudaly from the University of KwaZulu-Natal's School of Education. Professor, good afternoon to you. As I've just mentioned, probably an inevitable move. How much of a setback is this for education?
It's Vimolan Mudaly. Thank you, Jeremy. I must say that I don't believe that this is going to be a tremendous setback. We have lost, in the previous years, in the previous decades, we've lost many weeks for various reasons, and we've recouped that. If we lose another 2 weeks now, surely we can recover that in a short while. So I think the problem that we need to understand is that the pandemic and its effects on society currently, whilst last year we knew that its effect on the younger generation wasn't so intense, but with the new variants, children and younger people are starting to become more affected, and we cannot take the risk. So we know that the pandemic is exacerbating inequalities. We know that days of tuition, there's a fear that the days of tuition lost may never be recouped. But I do believe that all of that can be sorted out in the next few months if we look at the curriculum and in the way we realign our curriculum and the way we rearrange it can be sorted out.
And Professor, part of that realignment, I would imagine, is changing teacher logistics completely, or teaching logistics and methodology. It would suggest, for instance, that we need to spend more time, more effort on e-learning, something which we're not necessarily equipped to do in this country for many obvious reasons.
That is correct, and I think one of the problems that we have, I think, is that we've not spent sufficient time in our country preparing ourselves for such occurrences. I think we should not be waiting for such disasters, for such pandemics to be wanting to do this. One of the suggestions we've already made was, and it could have been done over the last few months, by the way, that ICT infrastructure, it doesn't have to be done only at school. It could be done in villages. It could be done, in towns and community halls. We can bring ICT to the children in their own communities to make it easier for them. E-learning has to happen. By the way, we're in the 4th industrial revolution, and if we are still expecting that we will go back to schools and learn and teach in these institutions, then we're way behind. In the next 10 or 15 years, there may never be schools. There may never be universities. We need to start to think about what we're going to do in the future, and we're way behind at this stage.
So who takes the lead on that? How do you start accelerating the process?
I think the Department of Basic Education, together with other people like the universities and so on, we need to then start to get together and talk about how we can. I mean, there must be the Department of Communication and Digital Technologies and so on. There must be these departments that can assist us in doing this. So the Department of Communication and Digital Technologies, I do understand that they have the capability to source these technologies, to be able to advise on this. And I think that has to be led by the Department of Basic Education. Universities, by the way, in a very short while, were able to get e-learning going in the universities. I mean, students didn't suffer tremendous loss. Universities were up and running within a month, I think, of the pandemic, and there was no tremendous loss in terms of scholastic, any learning and any of the academic work.
Professor, thank you very much indeed. Professor Vimolan Mudaly from the University of KwaZulu-Natal's School of Education.